I'm waiting for us to go live. Okay, once we've done that. Let me just make sure that sound is off. Yeah, it's off. Okay. All right, so I'd like to call the Historical Commission and Historical Architectural Review Board combined HARB hybrid meeting of February. This is going to be good. 3rd, 2026 to order at 7:18. In attendance are myself, Sally Gallagher, Sarah Beth Kohat, Chuck Phillips, and Lou Mandich. So, excuse me while I make a note. And I expect that Nan Latimer will be joining us later, so I'll have to keep my eye on the thing up there. The first order of business tonight is the organization of the Historical Commission. So I would like to open the nominations for chairman of the Historical Commission.
I nominate Paul Legassi.
Does the nomination have a second?
I second that.
Are there any other nominations for chairman of the Historical Commission? Okay, so that's PL by LM, second Chuck Phillips. Okay, I'm going to close the nominations for chairman of the Historical Commission. All in favor of Paul Legassi as chairman of the Historical Commissions, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's unanimous. I'd like to open the nomination for vice chair of the Historical Commission. Luke, can I impose on you to?
I was going to nominate Chuck Phillips.
Oh, Chuck, you want to be vice chair of the Historical Commission?
Sure.
All right. Taking on new responsibilities, Chuck. All right, I'll second that. Do I have any other nominations for vice chair of the Historical Commission? Hearing none, I will close the nominations for vice chair of the Historical Commission. All in favor of Chuck Phillips as vice chair of the Historical Commission, please signify by saying aye and or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Chuck, are you voting?
I guess I didn't know that you do vote on that.
Yeah, you can vote on yourself. Okay, so that's by Mr. Mandich, seconded by Mr. Legassi, and unanimous. Okay, I'd like to open the nominations for Secretary of the Historical Commission. I would like to nominate Sarah Beth Kohat for Secretary.
I'll second that.
Okay, so that's Sarah Beth Kohat, IPL, second LM. Any other nominations for Secretary of the Historical Commission? Now's your chance to nominate somebody else. Okay, so I'll close the nominations. All in favor of Sarah Beth Kohat as Secretary of the Historical Commission, please signify by saying aye, raising your hand. Aye.
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 Sarah Beth, did you vote or you wanted to
I
stay?
said aye.
Okay. I'm just checking. All right, now we have to move on to the organization of the HARB. So this is only 4 HARB members. There are 3 of us here. I'd like to open the nominations for chairman of the HARB.
I nominate Paul Legassi.
I second.
All right, I'll just, given there are only 3 of us here, I'm going to close down the nominations without even asking. And so, all in favor of Paul Legassi as chairman of the Historical Commission, please signify by
Aye.
saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. Lou, can I get you to serve as
I was
vice
going to
chair?
nominate Chuck again.
I'll do it. I'll do that. That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so Chuck Phillips by Mr. Mandich, seconded by, I'll second that. Again, given the paucity of members here, I'm going to close the nominations and all in favor of Chuck Phillips as vice chairman, please signify by raising your hand or saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. And I'm going to hold open again the nominations. Like, would you like to serve as secretary? We'll have someone. I write up the minutes. It's a task-free job.
A task-free job. Okay.
I nominate Lou Mandich as secretary of the
I second that.
I can't type. Well,
That's okay. You don't have to.
I'll get that.
Sarah Beth will tell you that the demands of the job are honors. All right, I'm going to close.
Typing is a lost skill anyways. Now you have to be able to text.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, heaven forbid we have text abbreviations in a minute. I'm going to close the nominations. All in favor of Mr. Mandich as secretary, please raise your hand to say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay, we're done with that. We have no members of the public, so we have no public comment by definition unless a member of the combined committees would like to say something before we proceed. Oh, okay. The first order of business is the approval of the draft minutes of the October 7th, 2025 meeting of the combined meeting.
I only saw one thing, the next to last paragraph,
Right?
the second line, I guess it's the last paragraph, the second line, the materials to be used that were needed to complete the application or to be used that was, this sentence here,
Additional materials, additional
used.
information.
that was needed. Or that were
Yeah,
needed
no,
to-
actually, was is correct.
Is it?
It agrees with information.
Yeah, information was, but it still would be needed. ED.
Yeah, needed, right. It's
Yeah.
not, yeah.
Okay.
But was is correct, but needed is
Okay.
definitely wrong. Thank you. Any other corrections?
No.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the draft minutes as amended by Mr. Mandich.
I so
I'll-
move, or, yeah.
Okay,
Either way.
Mr. Phillips, motion to approve by Mr. Phillips. Do I have a second?
I'll be the second then.
Okay, seconded by Mr. Mandich. All in favor? And everyone's voting on this one?
Aye.
Signify by
Aye.
saying aye. Okay, that's unanimous. Okay, then we move on for the HARB members to the draft minutes for the November 4th, 2025 meeting of the HARB. Are there any suggested emendations to the minutes?
No, it looked good to me.
All right, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
I so move.
Okay, that's a motion by Mr. Mandich.
I'll
Can I have a
second that.
Second by Mr. Phillips. Okay. That's me. All in favor signify by raising your hand or saying aye.
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 It's unanimous. Okay, I'm hoping that this is going to be a relatively quick meeting because there's really not a lot that has happened since our last meeting. There is nothing to report on updating historic resource surveys. So, and on the Churchill Cemetery, since the last historical commission meeting. Nan and I actually out there, and we met with Jim Durazio at the cemetery to discuss the chipping of the debris from the cleanup. But Yardworks is not in a position to set a date. So we're kind of back, but they saw the piles and everything. And then I'm assuming this won't happen till spring, but I'm hoping we can get it done in very early spring or late winter so that we're not dealing with new growth coming up in the piles, which is be a wonderful problem. Nan subsequently did some spraying of invasives, and I spent part of a day out there improving access to the brush piles in anticipation of their removal for chipping. And I also went around the property and added a bit more debris from trees and brush to the piles, just so we had as much collected as possible. That's where things stand right now. Once we get a date, for that we're doing a cleanup, we would basically go looking for extra hands to help with the work and get in touch with Galilee and talk to the FSA and maybe ask if there's anybody in London, Britain, because I basically show up for their committee meetings, would be interested in helping. I don't know how many people we really need. That's the other thing we have to figure out, but that's pretty much where things stand. Sally, do you have anything else to add?
I don't, no.
Okay.
The Yardworks, are they gonna take the chipped material away?
Yeah, they'll take it away. And I think for a municipality, if they can kind of take it up for composting without too much trouble
Yeah.
at the dump. So
Oh, that's good.
disposal, I don't think is much of an issue. It's really just having somebody who can chip it and haul it away.
Yeah,
Um,
okay, good.
yeah.
That's great.
Speaking of chips, a little bit off topic, we had a big pine tree come down and it's all chipped up, and I have a big pile of pine chips. Doesn't have like poison ivy or anything in it. If anybody wants a dump truck load in the spring, just free to good home,
Okay.
because there's a big pile of it. I gave a lot to my neighbors, but
Mhm.
there's plenty
There's
for
plenty.
everybody.
Well, I must congratulate you on your unmatched generosity.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll move on to the next one, and in terms of other township cemeteries, work on I don't want to start any work on Mount Olivet until we've kind of gotten Churchill out of the way, unless we've got a date for it, and we know we've got a lot of time in between where we might go down and look at a cleanup down there. I haven't even really looked at it. Hang on, I gotta look. Then we'll sort of, I can back up to that, but just. Hi, Nan. Just to bring you up to speed, let me just make a note, Nan, at 7:30. You haven't missed much because it took us a little while to assemble. And
Congratulations on your election to chairman and all that. Yeah. That's what happens when you don't show up.
Yeah, we got a little excited, and you were also named chair of the HARB. So I want to thank you for your service. And congratulations with all the fun you're having with your grandchild, by the way.
Right, and all the snow at the farm. It's really been a disaster.
Yeah,
Oh.
that I can imagine.
Well,
I
Lou
was-
knows.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more
yeah,
than
it's-
nasty.
Yeah.
So anyway, we just talked briefly about what had happened at Churchill after the October meeting, which was last time the Historical Commission met. And I mentioned that you and I had met with Jim and we talked about it, but we don't actually have a date. And with the snow on the ground, I'm hoping for, late winter or early spring before things grow. I think as we get closer to that, we have to kind of maybe nudge Jim a little bit with Jeff's help. Because I don't want stuff growing up in the middle of the piles. And I mentioned that you'd been out there doing some killing and that I was out there opening up pathways and throwing a few other additional things, brush and small tree limbs that I found lying around on the piles. So we're actually in pretty good shape to go, assuming, when the time comes, because there is a clear pathway to throwing it over the side now, pretty much. So it's a matter of just trying to get organized, but nobody's going to do anything right now, that's for sure. And so then I also noted that I didn't want to do anything with respect to Mount Olivet until this was out of the way, unless we had a far off date for taking care of Church Hill, and we could then maybe focus on Mount Olivet in the interim. But one other thing that we will want to think about is at what point do we want to go out there and do some killing of the new growth as it starts to come up, where it starts to come up. And I don't know what time of year that would be, but I'm thinking it's going to be end of April.
Is
So
it, is it as bad as Churchill with the brush?
No, I'm talking about Churchill itself. When I say
Oh,
that,
Churchill. Okay, I thought you were talking about
Churchill's going to need a second round
Yep.
enable us to try and stay ahead of it.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking that, at the end of April might be a good time. The shrubs, so I don't know when they really start growing, but if we can get them when they're young and tender, I think we'll be in good shape.
Right. So this summer I lost at least one of the boys and I'm looking for a replacement. So I may not have as much boy power this summer. So just to let you know.
That's fine, but I'm hoping that the task won't be as massive. Like what I'd really like to focus on first this coming year is holding the ground that we've cleared and not worrying too much about expanding it. We can do a little expansion if we, identify areas that are worth excavating from the brush that we haven't excavated already. That's going to be more obvious when things leaf out.
Right. It's best just to keep after that autumn olive because that's
Yeah.
nasty. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand. And so that it may be something like we have to consider going out on a monthly basis just to do a touch-up spraying. And I think if we do that this summer, even if it's a little irregular, we'll be in a lot better shape come the fall. So with respect to the Mason-Dixon Art Corner Connectivity Project, I know from meeting with London Britain today at their Historical Commission and talking to Eileen Parrish that it's all the townships have accepted, which is technical term for what they were doing, the plan. So that's taken care of. At some point, we're going to have to talk about forming some sort of MD-HIP committee that meets irregularly, probably with, maybe quarterly, involving historical people from the 4 townships, just to sort of keep some of this going forward. As a sort of associated event with this, DCNR, most specifically Sarah Sato, and then Emma, whose last name I can't remember, who is now the park manager, having succeeded Rob Campion. They're moving forward with a proposal for an actual DCNR wayside at the tri-state marker, which is something that Sarah particularly wants to do because it's about 2 miles from park headquarters, and people hike out there and they have questions. The biggest question that they have is, why is Delaware not on the tri-state marker? Because it's a tri-state marker. I mean, there's only M's and P's all over that marker. So they're going to do a wayside that focuses at least in part on answering that question, so that when people get out there, they will know. And so I've been attending meetings of Friends of White Clay Creek Preserve, and I'm going to help Sarah work up some language on it. And if anybody wants to know way too much about the tri-state marker, I have a 12-page backgrounder that I wrote up, which is unfortunately a fire hose of information, but and it's still a little rough around the edges. But Sato was trying to move the process along, and I got the information out to her just so that I would be sure that they were aware of all the complexities in how the tri-state marker came to be the tri-state marker. And that's it for the moment with respect to those items.
I have a question about E 896 road work.
Yeah.
I heard, rumor maybe, that the roundabout's on hold because the township thought the state was going to pay for maintenance, and the state thought the township was going to pay for maintenance or do the maintenance, and that hasn't been resolved. That's just a rumor, but I
Honestly,
forget.
That doesn't make any sense because they're both state roads.
Yeah,
So why
but
would
but
the township and
I
get be involved?
I agree. I don't understand that.
Chuck, I will say that from what I know from sitting in on supervisors meeting, that Lou's understanding of the responsibility for maintenance is correct. That's and so the township is concerned about minimizing its maintenance and making sure that the state takes as much responsibility for everything as it can. So that may be slowing things down. I don't know that that's going to put it on hold, because the other option there is going to be a traffic light. And nobody really wants a traffic light.
I think the four-way stops work fine, but
I agree. But the problem with the four-way stop is if I remember the discussion from years ago, it's a federally funded project. The federal guidelines for that kind of road in this sort of situation rule out a four-way stop. You either get a traffic light. The roundabout was the solution of avoidance of traffic light. And there was some talk that they could sort of keep a four-way stop there, but it was going to have to go in essentially as a prelude to a traffic light at some point. Yeah. That was my understanding. I might be a little off, but I think that summarizes it approximately well. Sarah Beth, you're watching this sort of stuff closely. Do you have any updates?
I think the latest we know is just checking the PennDOT let dates, and it's been pushed again, I think, to April.
when was it supposed to begin before it was pushed to April?
December? Was that what you said last time?
December or January?
Yeah, I remember. I think I have it in the minutes as
Okay.
or a report anyway as December. But it doesn't. This is like an infinitely receding perspective. You never really get the back of the picture.
That's
And once it starts,
why.
it's
Why in
4
the world-
years of work.
How would what would the township maintain? Just the
The-
little center cog?
Well, that's the
Well-
the one at 82 in Unionville. Of course, that's a state road and a township road coming in from the side. The township does maintain that center area. They plant flowers, they do landscaping and all that within the circle, the donut hole, if you will. East Marlboro Township maintains that. But as I said, the road that comes in, East Doe Run Road is a township road, whereas 82 is a state road.
Right.
And
But in here you have two state roads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
PennDOT could, they could just design the circles smaller, eliminate the middle. That would, we don't need to have a football field in the middle, but that's what they do. It's crazy. That's the craziest thing I ever heard.
Well, to my understanding is you're at least half right.
that's more right than I usually.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is a continuing topic about raising awareness, but the item that I want to get to is sort of America 250. At some point, we need to see if what we want to do. They're talking about, I think, devoting the fall festival to a celebration of America 250, which is fine. There's no necessity of focusing on July 4th, and there's also really no necessity of any celebration in focusing on 1776. It's just designed to sort of celebrate local history. I'm going to attend a meeting in Kennett Library next Tuesday at 6 p.m. So that's February 10th. And the focus is on Dare to Declare, which is about reading the Declaration of Independence, which is an event we could sort of do here, either incorporate it into something in the park on the Fall Festival Day, or just maybe have a little event on the 4th in the park. If we wanted to do something like that, we'd have to have space for parking, et cetera. So it's something we can talk about, but I'm going to go to this meeting and sort of talk to folks like Heather Reefer, who's involved with this, and another woman who's running 250 for the county, and sort of see what's up. So I may have some information to report back on that.
So on that subject, have the supervisors approved the fall festival?
My understanding is they expect it to go ahead. But that could change. I do know that having done it last year, London Britain is not planning to do it this year. So we may get into a kind of alternating cycle with London Britain going forward. And it would be kind of nice to have a local festival, whether it's there or here, on an annual basis. So we'll see. But you could bring out some cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could have had it here with a nice old barn too, but
Yes, we could have.
we had that all figured out, we
Right.
thought.
So
It's gone, Lou.
I know, I
It's
know.
gone.
The
gone.
memorial salt shed.
well, not in Lou's heart. It's not gone.
No, no.
Right.
Well, can you get one of those like Ben Franklin impersonators to come out, and since we are Franklin Township?
Probably could, but if we're doing it, depending on what we're doing when, that may be more appropriate to the fall festival, and then it's sort of in the responsibilities of the township office for organizing that. But maybe easier to get them in September than July 4th. There won't be quite the demand for Ben Franklin's that there was on July 4th. But it might be a nice idea because it is Franklin Township.
I have
Maybe
a
that
quick,
could be a contest, like wear your best Ben Franklin costume.
Well, we could have a
Yeah.
Ben Franklin lookalike contest. That's not such a bad thing.
I have a quick story about a Ben Franklin impersonator. He was supposed to ride in one of the Kennett parades, 35 or 40 years ago in a carriage. Well, the carriage couldn't come, so they called me. Can you put Ben Franklin on the back of your truck? So I had a 32 Ford stake truck. Okay, so I took the stake sides off, put an oriental carpet on, put an old chair and a desk and ladder for Ben Franklin. So we're going through Kennett, and I hear this kid cry out, "Hey, Mom, look, it's the trash man, and he's got Ben Franklin." Because I used to do cleanouts. And so I got friendly with Ben Franklin. So he came to the middle school where I taught, and he was really good. I mean, he just somehow, it was a hard audience, downtown Coatesville, sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. They asked him questions, and they couldn't quite figure out, was he really alive? Does he remember? It was all that. And later on, he had I guess he married Betsy Ross, the woman who was Betsy Ross.
So what did Deborah Franklin think about this?
Well, I don't know, but the two interpreters.
Right. No, I understand. It turns it into a kind of family business.
Yeah, yeah. He was really clever. I don't remember his right name, but he was really good.
But that's actually, a lookalike contest is a pretty good idea. And if we get Ben Franklin to come, we could have Ben Franklin judge it.
That's right.
I mean, it ought to be fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be serious.
We should look up who does different, because I took Teddy Roosevelt through Strasbourg for there.
Yeah.
He was really good, and he had a Secret Service guy with him too.
Did you get a package deal on the Secret Service?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Oh, the ins and outs of impersonators.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I think I could mention it to Stacy and Jeff and see what they think. So there's nothing new really about the website. I may have tweaked something, but that's it. And the township history has nothing new. The multi-municipal identification of historic resources and Big Elk Creek, I would like to update that and add more detail. But for now, that's on hold because I've been busy with actually helping copy edit a book on the history of the Big Elk Creek State Park and Big Elk Creek Preserve, which should become available this spring. And the person who's writing it, Tim Barnikov, who is a former professor and dean at the University of Delaware, is going to talk about it on March 17th. That's a tentative plan at the Friends of the White Clay Creek State Park meeting in Delaware. So if I have more information about that, I'll send it out and about, because that might make an interesting, I mean, it's going to be a regular meeting of the Friends, so there's going to be a lot of information about other stuff. This is going to be a small part of a bigger meeting. There's going to be a talk on pottery at New London, I believe, in March on the third Tuesday. I don't know if you went to the talk 10 years ago, Nan, on pottery. It's the guy who wrote the book. He's there. So they wanted to bring him back and do it again.
Yeah, I did go. Yep.
Yeah. So he's going to come back and talk, and it was an interesting talk, and he's got a book, and if that's anybody's interest, it's well worth going to. Does anybody else have any other information about talks? No?
There should be something at the Kennett, but I can't remember if there's, at the Kennett Library, like you're going
Right.
to, but they have stuff there, but
Yeah, I know
there
that
might be something coming.
yeah. They'd have, I know, I was talking to Karen Marshall, they have regular talks there.
Yeah,
Eventually I might,
I'll have to try and keep up with that
Yeah.
and let you know about it.
and the revisions to the historic district ordinance is on hold because I'm doing too much and I need to get back on topic with that. I need to figure out what maybe some of the goals for this year. I mean, I would really like to see us get a big handle on going forward this year, nothing else. Having Churchill in obviously better shape. You know, it's definitely a an obvious work in progress right now. And if we could get it to the point where it's um, moving along visibly, I'd be very pleased with that. So going forward, for me, that's a big goal. I don't think there's anything else. Does anybody else have anything else to add? I want to bring up this new business.
I have a question.
Sure.
The link that you just sent me,
Yeah.
will that work next month?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head because I don't remember what was in the link, but I do know that there is a link to add the meeting to your calendar at, if you go and you look at the township website and you look at the sort of the meetings and you find our meeting, one of those, there should be two links. One is sort of a link specifically for the meeting and another's to add it to the calendar.
Mhm.
And it usually works as a recurring meeting, although I must say occasionally for some reason that recurring calendar meeting has not worked and I don't know why. But I think it would.
Okay. I just put it out.
And I didn't think
I
to
just
send it out.
populated it.
I mean, you know, I was a little
I
behind
don't,
with the
I don't know
minutes.
if Google did something, but I lost both. I had everything recurring and I lost both of the meetings, both this and the planning commission meeting. So I suspect Google did something.
It may be that the link is only for the year, and so it disappeared because it didn't extend beyond the year.
Yeah, I don't remember that being a thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, something weird happened. So, yeah, I just, because everybody is going to need that link. So
Right.
if it doesn't work, I'll know, just go to the township website and
Yeah, I'll take a
Walk
look
it
at the
off there.
link and see and what I can see there and send something out.
did anybody else have it disappear on them?
All right, well, let me see.
I don't use it. I just go to the website.
Let me look at my calendar and see. Let me go ahead to next month and look at for the planning commission, which would be Thursday. Yeah, it's gone.
So you did the same thing. You put it on your calendar and it's gone from your calendar.
So I think it's a link that's good only for a year. That would be
Something
my
like-
guess.
Yeah.
I don't, because nothing else has come out of my calendar. I've got other things. So I think you have to just re-upload it to your calendar.
Yeah.
It's usually the one that's like I think there's might be an ICS link. I think it's an ICS extension.
Okay.
Yeah.
I seem to be the only one that does it in their calendar.
No, I do it,
Okay.
but I don't need this one. I need the one for the planning commission.
Yeah, because it's gone too.
Mhm.
So your thinking is I could probably go on on the township website, find it.
See if there's look for something that ends in ICS, which is
Okay.
add to your calendar.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. If there's no other business, we can adjourn at 7:55.
Sorry for being late.
That's okay.
Watching the movie called, it's the remake of The War of the Roses. Anybody recognize that?
You
It was,
mean that's the yeah, that's like a comedy about husband and wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not about the Lancasters and the
it's a play. Yeah, it's actually, and it's a remake. So they did Douglas and somebody. I thought it was Catherine Zeta-Jones, but my wife said no, it's not. It wasn't her. But they did it like, I don't know, 25 years ago, and so it's a remake with Cumberbatch and I don't know her name, but it was it. It's raw, but it's pretty good. I mean, I was not paying attention at all to the time. So
Something that we watched while we are talking about that
I'm
is
gonna go stop the
there's a Netflix film called Death by Lightning, and it's really good. It's about the assassination of Garfield, and it follows Garfield and his assassin, like parallel timelines.
huh,
If you like historical stuff, it's really good.
cool.
Yeah, that was good.
The title came when they asked Garfield if he was afraid of being assassinated.